Okay, I am on my way to Panda Express from my house because I still have to go to the bathroom since I was like, I've already had 5 orders. My goal today is going to be 20. So we'll see how close we get to it. And no, it's not going to be $200. There's no way in hell it's going to be $200 because I've been taking orders that are like basically $5 to $10, okay? And a lot of them have been $5, $6, $8 orders. So, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, good luck making, you know, $200 in that many trips. Now this is my 6th and 7th one coming up because I've already done 5. I did 4 with Uber, which I got $4 extra for doing those, and then I got 1 DoorDash, which was $9, which was good. And like I said, I'm not taking bad offers. Like, the miles have to match. Like, so far the miles have been better than the pay, which, you know, even though I mean, like, oh, $5 for 3 miles, well, yeah, but they've been pretty quick and they've been pretty easy. You know, like, I've been to an auto place to drop off to Firestone. I went to this pet place and dropped off in Lowell for one dog food, and I thought they were still worth it, you know. And yeah, so I'm like, they've been really easy orders, but I'm not taking anything ridiculous because they had some really crappy orders today, you know. I don't know, I guess we'll see how today goes, you know, and I'm praying that our orders do get better, that we start getting a little higher paying offers than the ones that we've been doing. But, you know, I don't know, I just need money. I just bought $200 of battery, you know, yesterday, which I don't think I got to tell you about yesterday, but it went really well yesterday. Like, remember I was like, oh, bad luck morning, you know, and it was kind of, because my husband was bitching at me freaking all day. But I think he's okay now. You know, he's finally calmed down and got over being upset about the bumper. You know, and then and it being on Facebook and people grabbing. And I mean, as there was a comment from somebody that was in our family, and my husband, I know, took the wrong way, because even Aiden said something about it. He's like, yeah, you know, and I was like, but I read it and I thought, it's not really that bad, you know. I kind of know this person, I know their personality. Maybe people just take them the wrong way, you know. So I didn't think it was rude what he said, you know, but you know how people are. That's how they are, you know. And shit, I gotta speed up. Stop driving 40 in a 50 because you want to talk on YouTube. And then yeah, so I mean, it was good. I even went to McDonald's in Bella Vista and ended up with $6 because the order got canceled. That's probably not the best pay, but it's better than nothing. Like I said, Grubhub, they are great. They pay you decently, you know, most time. Not saying all the time, because I have seen some really crappy orders from Grubhub, because I do feel like maybe they're testing the waters. Maybe they're getting a little, like, Uber and DoorDash are being so damn cheap. Why can't I be cheap too? I don't know, you know. So I mean, I tell people, yeah, they usually match up miles, and they usually do. Okay, usually they will match the miles, but it's not a guarantee. Okay, nothing's ever guaranteed. And, you know, just like a lot of these apps, like they say, they're trying to make them harder. You're working hard for your low paid money, which is so sad. And it is kind of ridiculous that way. Because, like, I notice a lot of these shopping pay, they're not worth it. They're just not worth it. You almost have to make, like, how many items with almost the same miles just to drive to get this thing as the pay. I'm like, dude, that's ridiculous. It takes longer to shop for an order than it does to just pick up food, which I'm not saying it's always true, but it can be. You know what I'm saying? And like, so they're expecting a lot of work for nothing. Like, you know, I'm like, oh, $8 for that. Yeah, it's gonna take me 30 minutes to an hour to do. It's ridiculous. But, you know, sometimes, I don't know. So it is what it is, right? It is what it is. We know this job is not the best paying job in the world. It used to be once upon a time. But I think that's when they started, and then they started getting greedy. The company started getting greedy. But I mean, I have heard that they said DoorDash does not make any income. So, like, why are they doing a job that they don't make any income in? So maybe that's the reason. They're like, we're sick of doing this job that's a great job for people, you know, getting food to them and helping places that, like, sell this food and people who need money, but we're not getting shit out of it. I don't know. Maybe that's what they feel like, but I have no idea. Or they're somehow scamming, and, you know, where they getting the money, and they're like, oh God, now we have all this debt because we borrowed to get our money first and then deal with the bills, you know? I mean, they could do that, you know? I don't know. A lot of places can. I recall, and I remember when I first came to Arkansas, there was a company, this poor lady, she came to work where we were, and she said the place that she worked, and it could have been her daughter, I don't know, maybe it was her daughter, I don't know, but they said that, I guess, you know, the places, you know, where she worked, it was going bankrupt, and they were still cashing checks and giving them checks, and the banks were still cashing these checks even though they were bouncing, because they thought, oh, this company's good for it, and it ended up being not good for it. And then I don't know what happened, but I remember it was bad, and I thought, oh my God, you can't even trust a paycheck to go through, that goes through your bank, you know, because I think that ended up hurting her later. Like, obviously, if these checks did not go clear, and eventually the bank's gonna be like, you know what, we cashed them thinking that this would go through, and it didn't, and now there's a problem. So, you know, kind of thing, you know. And then I know a lot of temp agencies later on, because this was not a temp job, this was a real job, but the temp jobs were having issues like that too. Like, they were getting people paychecks and didn't have money for it, and a lot of places were not wanting to cash these checks anymore for the people. And I worked temp jobs, okay? So that's a big problem when you work for your money, you're hoping to get paid, and then your checks are not clearing. And then places are like, yeah, we're not taking your check. We just don't do that anymore because of this, you know? We can't trust that your money's going to clear. And I mean, I haven't heard about shit like that in a long time, you know? As far as I know, everything's back to normal. But with this economy, maybe that's starting to have a problem again, you know what I mean? What if that is going to start being a problem? Now, places like Walmart, you're not ever going to probably worry about that. Like, wouldn't that be funny if that did happen? You're like, Walmart, the check bounced. You know what I'm saying? That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. And who's to say that wouldn't happen with Grubhub, Uber, and DoorDash? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Those are possible. This is like a temp job, if you ask me. You know? A temp job. And I think it's kind of crap that they can what? They said that if they kick you off the platform, if you haven't taken your money out, they can take all of it. They get to keep that money that you earned, that you're depending on. So that's why people like to take out daily, but I can't take out daily. So that's why I'm like, I cannot afford to ever get kicked off these damn platforms, because that would piss me off to no end. I was like, God, you know, that would really make me mad, but oh my God, I don't know. So, you know, who knows with this economy? It's kind of crazy. And I did hear back from FedEx, but unfortunately, I guess I missed the call. Holy crap, Penn Express. Focus. And then so they're like, oh, well, you know, are you still interested? Because we can't get a hold of you. And I'm like, oh no, because they still have more questions, I guess, before. And I'm like, damn it. So I'm trying to watch the phone, but so far no calls today. It is Sunday, but I don't know if I mean, they work 7 days, so I would think they would call today. And I guess I'll find out, because I'm like nervous. Like, I can't miss this call. I'm not that, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure. Like, I'm not that worried. Like, if I don't get this job, it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? It's my first job that I was kind of offered, and I'm not even sure how I really feel about it. But anyway, I'm here, so I gotta go, because I've got 2 places to pick up and 2 places to drop off. And so this is 6 and 7 trips so far. Bye.